What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like, remember to subscribe, hit the bell notification, get notified of all our latest activity, latest blogs as and when they drop. So, without further ado, let's get into it. We're going to talk about Tyson the Gypsy King Fury and his mixed messages. So, of late, there's been all these different mixed messages from Tyson Fury. I spoke in my other video about an interview he had with Gareth A. Davies, who's one of his sort of friends in boxing journalist, covering the sport for many years. And in that video, he spoke about inactivity. He spoke about how his inactivity is not ideal preparation for a super fight like him versus Anthony Joshua. And a lot of people were saying that could be a potential excuse where he's preparing his excuses before the fight happens so that if he loses, then he's got an excuse that he was inactive. He mentioned in that video the fact that if they do fight in summer, AJ would have been out the ring for about 6 months. He would have been out the ring for 18 months, so a year and a half to half a year. So he would be the less active man. Um, and, you know, in some cases, his inactivity over the years comes down to his own thing. The Caballero fight, I heard there were on Ring IQ's channel was saying apparently they only offered this guy like 40 grand or something to fight Tyson Fury. So that was a joke thing. So obviously Ajit Caballero was never going to take it. Many have said that Tyson Fury could have taken a pay cut and still had that fight. So it's not really an excuse. And yeah, that's fair enough to say. And he's also been saying recent things that are a bit crazy because he's been saying he's been inactive. Then he said he's still so far ahead of guys that even if he is inactive, he's about 10 steps ahead of guys. So he's still too far ahead to be beaten. He still can't be beaten, even when he's not doing things properly, when he doesn't have the fights to prepare him. He's that many steps ahead. It doesn't matter. He's so good and so much better, so superior. So it doesn't really matter how he's been out the ring. Then he goes on to say, this year I'm fighting 2 times with or without Anthony Joshua. And for the boxing fans like myself, um, this is not the type of thing we want to be hearing because prior to that, he tweeted out, Anthony, AJ, don't duck me, don't avoid me like you avoided the Bronze Bomber. And we know that although there's many people pushing a narrative about Anthony Joshua avoiding Wilder, we know that the only thing we can say about Wilder, there was this mythical $50 million offer that apparently him and Eddie Hearn had to sign within one day and then send it back and all that sort of nonsense. And, obviously they never took it because it's not a real offer. It's not genuine. If you can't sit down and have a meeting with someone about this $50 million offer, how can we take it serious as a genuine offer? Things don't work like that. Business don't run like that. And then when John Skipper from the Zone offered him $120 million to fight AJ twice, and prior to that to fight Brazil, he didn't want to take that. He said, I'd rather stay with Showtime. And then Showtime, they dropped Wilder's fight. They didn't even show him versus Ortiz in the second fight. They dropped it because they weren't going to make no money. That same Showtime that he was loyal to and he dumped the Zone deal for is the same Showtime that dumped him. So at the end of the day, it didn't work out very well and kind of proved that AJ didn't duck him at all, made him several offers, at least two. So that's a bit of bluster. But for him to be saying in one breath, yeah, don't avoid me, blah blah blah, but then in another breath, I'm gonna fight this year twice with or without AJ, to me shows me that he's in a state where he. I'm not gonna say he's scared of Anthony Joshua. I don't think that's the case. I don't think any of these guys are really afraid of each other, but I think he might be worried about not being ready at this point in time. Maybe he feels that he needs more time, or he needs more activity. He needed that warm up back in December or whatever, and it's a case where he might just not feel ready at this particular time. And for me, I'm suspicious of it, and I think this might be, as many have said, this might be an indication that he doesn't want to fight AJ right now. I think he might want to fight him at some point in the future, but this, from the signs I'm seeing and the things I'm hearing, it seems that Fury might not actually want it with AJ right now, because he's not. It's one of them where he's making a lot of sort of negative talk about preparation, about this, about that, about warm-up fights, about activity, and although he said he's far ahead of these guys and they'll never catch him up or whatever, the way he's talking now, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't actually get this fight this year. I'm hopeful, but for me, as of right now, in terms of what I'm seeing, is a lot of contradiction, because the promoters in Eddie Hearn, Bob Arum, Frank Warren, they've all been talking quite positively about this fight. They've all been saying, it's going to get done within a few weeks and all that sort of stuff. But Tyson Fury has kind of thrown cold water on that idea by saying, I'm going to fight with or without AJ. So to me, that means if you're going to do it with or without AJ, then perhaps you don't want to fight with AJ. Perhaps you really don't sort of want it. And I think we got to allow for at least that possibility. I'm not, I like Fury. I'm a fan of Fury. But at the end of the day, when a man speaks like this and says, with or without you, to me, that shows me that you're quite happy to not have the undisputed fight. You're quite happy to fight somebody else rather than fight the other champion with the rest of the belts and have an undisputed fight, the biggest fight in British boxing history, or certainly British heavyweights. I mean, this will be maybe the first time that we've ever had two British heavyweights fighting for all the marbles, fighting for all the belts, fighting for undisputed. So for him to say, I'll do it with or without you, shows me that maybe Fury doesn't want it, or at least he doesn't want it right now. I think that's just my speculation. That's just my sort of theory on it. What he actually does is up to him. I'm not inside his head. I don't know. But I think the big fight could be in jeopardy, going by a lot of this stuff that we're hearing from Tyson Fury. But anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think this fight might be in danger of not happening now? Or do you think it still goes ahead? Do you think it's just Tyson Fury playing his mind games, playing tricks on AJ, or playing tricks on us as the public? But anyway, let me know your thoughts. And until next time, this is MKO Pugilism, over and out. Catch you on the next one.